And given the acceleration of threats, I asked the heads of chief of staff to draft resolutions to offer youth an opportunity to serve by strengthening ties within the army. So on the eve of the 14th of July, and at Brienne, where they were going to appear on the Champs-Élysées, and I said that in the autumn these measures would be defined, and here we are now. So President Jacques Chirac in 96 suspended obligatory national service. The end of the Cold War meant that the service was no longer valid. Over the 90s, the national service was neither fair nor universal. 1 in 3 avoided doing it. It was no longer a reality. Missions were often low value and often not sufficiently recognized. So this model became disproportionate with regard to its efficiency at that stage. So the decision was then chosen and was appropriate. To row backwards would, in this respect, would be not useful. So to make obligatory national services forms part of recognition of the current rules of the army. Our armies are no longer bound to deal with this large number of people, between 600 and 800,000 young. A model of this type, in terms of voluntary, obligatory conscription, does not meet the needs of our army at present, nor the threats we face. From 2008, via strategic review, and then via the 2 military laws passed, we've responded to the threats we recognize by modernizing our armies. We did this before our neighbors. We did not wait until 2020 to do this. This means that now we now have the most efficient army in Europe, and we tend to maintain this. The National Strategic Review, updated last summer, validated this approach, and it led to further adaptation to our forces announced last July, and this will be rolled out in the army in due forecast and in the summer as well. So this shift in threats has resulted in new decisions. We cannot return to times of conscription, but we do need mobilization. The country needs to be in a position to defend itself properly against whatever enemy, not against any specific enemy, but given particular threats. So how can we welcome the energy of our youth to face the challenges our nation encounters? So a new national service will be gradually implemented as of next summer. This service has 3 main targets: underpin the pact between our nation and the army, underpin capacity to resist as a country, and to consolidate the training and formation of our young. So once we had a obligatory service before in a specific age, the acceleration of crisis and has resulted that now we're offering purely military national services, which will not be universal, but can engage an entire generation. So I carry a project in line with the French commitment to defending the country. We should not forget that each time that history has demanded this of us, French youth has committed itself to engagement, faithful to what we have seen in the past, as in line of what we saw amongst the Maquis and in the Vercors. So I'd like to salute the work done since last January, undertaken by the ministers and by SEMA. So I'd like to point out what this national service consists of. This will be focused on young French of over 18 who are eager to express their determination at the Defense Day for Citizenship, which will become Mobilization Day, by focusing on fundamentals. So I'd like to emphasize that the national service will only concern volunteers, and it will be focused on those between 18 and 19 years old. Faced with a major crisis, the French Parliament could authorize extension beyond these volunteers to those who have specific skills that have been identified, and then the national service would become obligatory. But aside from this exceptional situation, this national service, I emphasize, is voluntary, volunteers selected in line with the Army's needs. This national service is inspired by our European partners, notably Norway, while all European allies are now combating threats facing all of us. France cannot remain inactive. So Chiefs of Staff will indicate how candidatures should be made from mid-January 2026. Volunteers will be selected by the Army, and they will choose the most motivated and those who can make the most contribution to their needs. They will serve under military status. They will have a uniform and a pay and equipment. The national service will take place within the armies and guided by the army minister. This will start from 2026, and they will also be able in 2027 to undertake their national services within the National Police Force, within the Paris Fire Brigade, and also in Marseille, which also have a military status. That it will be up to the SEMA to decide each on the number of young attributed to each unit. Our main objective is a military one. The National Service volunteers will be active for 10 months, equating to a full year which can be fit in with their youthful training. There will be initial training of 1 month where they will learn the rudiments of military life. They will acquire the skills and discipline necessary in using arms and in drilling, and with a focus on increasing fraternity within the army and the strength of the nation. The volunteers will then be attributed for 9 months to a specific military unit where they will undertake the same missions as the professional army. They will underpin it and in line with needs and will underpin them in all respects. So our youth active in national service will be engaged in all missions in terms of assistance to the nation and in all units within the national army. They will work, as I say, on a national basis and solely within the national territory, that is, in metropolitan France and overseas territories. So national services concerns the nation, and it is their role to help us defend the nation. And I hope this will be laid out within the law. This commitment will be encouraged and assessed. We'll validate the measures undertaken as detailed by the government. Following national service, youth will be able to continue with their studies and enter into their civil occupations while joining the National Operational Reserve. They will be accompanied by the armies if they need to seek work. For those who want to, they can join the full professional army, and their experience will be readily factored in. In this way, the army will have the commitment of the young French and who have shown their motivation and their engagement clear. This will be a major benefit in all terms, in moral, civil and republican terms. So this reflects our confidence in youth in France. Military hybrid model will emerge in line with the threats we face. So gathering the young together in the reserve will be effective. This new model army will be focused on active participants, which we have seen develop over the last decades, backed up by the reserve from about 40,000 now up to about 80,000 by 2030. But they will be given backing within the nation and receive full recognition. This new force will be fully recognized. So this hybrid model will face with all the challenges we meet. It means that we can underpin our capacity to give a new depth to the army and to engage the young and to stiffen the spirit of resistance within the nation. This service will only make sense if it's far-reaching. It will start in summer 2026 and will be gradually ramped up. 3,000 young will be chosen in summer 2026 and will move up steadily towards 10,000 in 2030. The overall ambition for France is to achieve 50,000 young in 2035. This will be adapted according to threats. So, as of now, we need to create infrastructure so the young can be incorporated within the army and ensure that the staff are prepared to train the young. So this will be financed by the 2026-2030 military bill, which have a budget of over 2 million for the national service. This is a substantial effort, but is necessary. In line, the nation must underpin and encourage this desire to serve, and the Ministry of Education will focus on this. So, to consolidate the efforts made in the last few years, the security classes will move up from 1 year to 3 years. So the young will have to take part in at least one ceremony per year in each establishment. So finally, this national service, which is purely military, will round out government services such as civil services, which has over 100,000 young engaged today. I will return to this later on, but civil reserve services will play a key role in the mobilization on a non-military basis within the nation and will help prepare for new risks. Ladies and gentlemen, in this uncertain world where strength dominates over law and where we face war at present, France can neither be fearful nor panic nor be unprepared. Peur never deals with danger. The only way to defeat threats is to ensure full preparation. This is what our armies do on a daily basis, and it will do so likewise in the future. So the National Service will help youth and the army and the nation. So we'll have a regenerated army, which is rounded out, one which is modernized and efficient, able to face the challenges in all areas, an army which is active and backed up with a selected group of young people. And this is what we're going to aim for, and we will do this as of next summer. So I'm speaking for combat units, like many others, who have no fear to face the future. This is up to the nation to now adopt the route towards the summits. It is ready.
Vive la République. Vive la France.